Rumble season is over. It's time for us to either rejoice, fantasy book mania, or bitch about the things we didn't like. With what I thought of the show, I had a pretty damn good time. And ironically, the day of the Rumble, I got the new Cody Rhodes WWE action figure. And they botched the name, so that's always fun. Yeah, there were a couple of things I was confused about, but both Royal Rumble matches delivered enough, and it ended with one of the greatest post-match segments I've seen in a long time. So let's rank through this card. I'm Duke from Duke It Out, here to give you every match at Royal Rumble 2023, from its worst to its best. But before I begin, please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more great wrestling content. Number 5, Bray Wyatt vs. LA Knight, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Okay, I'll start with this. This wasn't terrible, but definitely not the best of choices for Bray Wyatt's first match in nearly 2 years. There were a couple of fun spots, and in the end, made me at least interested to see what's happening next with Wyatt's character. But there's only so much you can do when it's called the fucking Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. WWE seems to love changing Wyatt's lighting for his matches, but this one just made me feel like I was playing glow golf. The weird neon confetti in the extreme spots was also a little too silly, and Uncle Howdy Shane McMahonning himself post-match was... it was. I'm at least intrigued. Wyatt's entrance tributing Taker was very cool after their recent moment on Raw, and if you remember, Wyatt's main roster debut match was way worse than this, so this isn't the beginning of the end or anything. Number 4, Bianca Bel-Air vs. Alexa Bliss. It's a shame because if they weren't as too focused with Alexa joining Bray Wyatt again, this would have been more of a good to great singles match. The talents of these two managed to get a couple of good spots in there, but this match got a bit less intrigue with its shorter length and that leading to the chemistry feeling a lot more rushed. I'm glad Bianca retained because I want to see her carry it until Mania, but this won't leave many memories besides what happened post-match. Hopefully it leads to something really entertaining though. Number 3, the Women's Royal Rumble. I haven't seen this Rumble get a ton of praise on social media, but I had a really good time with this Rumble. NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez got a great reaction from the crowd. Michelle McCool's traditional Rumble return will always kick ass. And before the end, there were plenty of other stuff to remember. Huge shout to Damage Control for greatly portraying the annoying heels for the Rumble, and adding a little bit of unpredictability to it with Bayley eliminating Becky. It continued other feuds like Natalya and Shayna Baszler, had a great return pop for Asuka, Piper Niven got her second name back, Lacey Evans, and Chelsea Green returning to get the record-breaking elimination time was very funny. But Nia Jax being number 30 and they botched the countdown, it was just, what the f***? And the fact that she got eliminated so quickly and the crowd was so happy about it, it was just a very, very weird surprise return. But the definite highlights of this Rumble were entries number 1 and 2, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, lasting through the entire thing to be the final 2 of the match in a very intense conclusion. Asuka blinding Liv with the mist before her elimination so Rhea Ripley could do that super smooth head scissors takedown out of the apron. Many had acknowledged that this was Rhea's year, and I'm so glad that WWE agreed. And they made sure to have her look extra dominant with not just the performance, but with Rhea selling the spear she took from Beth earlier in the night. Number 2, Roman Reigns vs. Kevin Owens. I know this has happened before, but it's very weird when a Royal Rumble match doesn't main event the Royal Rumble event. But now that the event's over, we could all see why they saved this for the end. The match itself is very good. We knew Roman and Owens had really good chemistry, but this match left a lot more impact on the story. Sami Zayn being at ringside, constantly being decisive on which side he's truly on, and Roman getting further impatient with him. Sadly, KO slipped once on the rope for a moonsault, and I'm just glad both Roman and Kevin were okay after the spot. And they picked it back up immediately by cranking up the brutality. KO bringing the babyface fire very well, especially when he kept getting screwed out of a win, and Roman gave one of his most memorable heel performances. Him throwing the back of KO's head against the steps a bunch of times was very uncomfortable. And when Roman won, everyone was waiting for either The Rock to come out or Sami to turn on Roman. And thank God we got the latter. The build-up with them further beating up KO was perfect. And the amazing Shield callback when Sami thwacked him with the chair. Jay sold the heartbreak so well, Heyman looked shocked, Jimmy showed no remorse, Solo being the same way, and it shows why this story has become one of the best long-term storylines in the history of wrestling. Jay walking away either to do the right thing or because he was too sad, Sami and KO laying there as a broken friendship, and the bloodline walking up the ramp broken as well. It's wrestling cinema at its f***ing finest. When it comes to the match, we've definitely seen better bouts with Reigns and Owens. But the crescendo to Sami finally making a choice ended up being the moment to remember from the whole event. Roman versus Sami should be incredible. And number 1, the Men's Royal Rumble. I was confused why they had the Men's Rumble open the show, but I definitely understand after watching the main event. If we got that whole post-match segment before the Rumble, fans would have been likely to turn on the match since there was no Sami and no Dwayne. But regardless, this was a really fun Royal Rumble match and was 5 times better than last year's. Gunther and Sheamus kicking it off brought instant intrigue to everybody, and I'll make sure to get back to Gunther a little later. There were a ton of other highlights too, but let's start with a couple of downers. Kofi failing the Rumble save for a second year in a row was so heartbreaking that I tried to forget about it immediately. And also, where the hell was Rey Mysterio? I figured when he didn't come out, he'd wait to eliminate Dominic, but nope. So this made history with being the first ever 29-man Royal Rumble match. Like, you couldn't have even given the slot to McAfee or another legend or even fucking Bad Bunny again? But luckily, those are the only real downsides to this Rumble. McIntyre and Sheamus doing the combo Claymore and bro kick on Elias looked brilliantly painful. Booker T's return was very fun. Edge brawling around with Judgment Day was chaotic entertainment. And, while I hate to admit it, Logan Paul got the in-ring spot of the night. Him and Ricochet at different sides of the ring saying, "Can you fly? Yeah, I can fly. Can you fly? Yeah, I can fly." And the most insane springboard collision I think I've ever seen in my life. Why does Logan Paul have to be fucking perfect at pro wrestling? And he even eliminated Rollins. What timeline am I in? It's also crazy to think that Brock Lesnar was only in the Rumble for just a few minutes and Bobby Lashley eliminated him clean as a sheet. It did make me more enticed for a rematch between them, so that's really good. But the big highlights of this match, like the Women's Rumble, were the final 2 of the match. Gunther shockingly breaking Rey Mysterio's Royal Rumble match record and lasting more than 70 minutes. It's an incredible achievement, one I was legit not anticipating going into this match. And it further makes Gunther a megastar, and that's exactly what the wrestling world needs. They even teased him and Brock. Give me that match, please. And Cody Rhodes returning from his torn pec at number 30 and survived the most dominant force of the match to be one step closer to the American dream. Great call by Michael Cole. I also have to quickly shout out how perfect the commentary was. We really did miss Pat McAfee in the commentary table. While Cody's win was a little predictable, it's still very earned for him. He's expanded his workmanship throughout so many levels over the years. And I'm glad he got a very big pop for that win because he really does deserve it. And I'm really excited to see how they're going to book the build-up between him and Roman. So that was my ranking of the 2023 Royal Rumble card. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and duke out your Rumble opinions below in the comments.